Next software I want to show you is Point.me. This software is dear to my heart because it's the first software I used in the modern world of award searches. This is the simplest one, I think. It doesn't have access to all of the airlines, but it has access to more than Seats.Aero does. Point.me and PointsYeah, which we'll cover next, are the best softwares if you don't want to be super technical, because you can enter a specific airport into a specific airport and it's going to do the segment marrying for you. The problem is, remember, you need to be flexible. In some cases, that small airport may not have a flight, but the airport an hour away, the other small airport an hour away may have a flight to the hub that will get you to the place that you want to go. Particularly if you're going overseas, this can make a big difference. If you're just trying to pay, 5 to 10,000 more points, it may not be worth it to rent a car and drop it off at a new airport and things like that. But if you are going overseas and you really need to find a certain ticket in a class that you really want to fly, you're going to want to be really flexible. But if you're not flexible and you don't want to do all the work, you can just go with Points.me. So Point.me, it's not Points.me actually, it's Point.me, is sort of showing flights here from Salt Lake City to Honolulu. Since this is a Delta hub, you're going to be able to book this on a direct flight with Delta. Hawaiian Airlines also has a direct flight, so it might be worth checking them. I don't know if they're tracked by Point.me. And you can just see. So I'm going to show by the lowest points available. Okay, you could transfer to Southwest if you wanted to. Remember, Southwest is cash-based. Not a lot of great value here to be had, but it is nice to be able to see the different ways in which you can use your points. Point.me also has an Explore feature. So if you want to search for flights from New York to anywhere, departing in 25 in March and April, you can check and it will show you, let's say you want to fly in a premium cabin with 2 people. It will show you all the things that it's found, but this is not real-time availability. This is just previous searches that have happened that may or may not still exist. It's really broad, so I'm going to try to go to Asia here. Okay, New York to Qatar in business for 60,000 points. Let's see if it's a real thing. Okay, that's on Etihad with a stopover in Abu Dhabi. And we're going to search for this and see if it's still available. Because it's just showing you what people have found. It doesn't mean that it's live availability. Sorry, it's a little complicated. You just kind of have to play around with these softwares and get used to it. And then you'll figure out, oh, okay, I booked my first flight. I can't believe this is real. And here's how I did it. I'm going to do it again. Okay, so we searched this flight with live check. Refresh to now, and you can see that it's no longer available. So that Explore feature can be helpful, but it's not always the most accurate in determining where you can go live. Oh, hey, this one just popped up. You can book it with Asiana Club and pay $750 in taxes and fees plus 60,000 points, or you can book it with Life Miles, which has a transfer bonus, and it's nice. It's showing you the transfer bonuses right here. Pay 62,000 miles plus $37, and it's a transfer partner of Amex membership rewards. With this one as well, you can search by the transfer partners that you have, which can be super helpful. And you can even save those in your account, as with all the softwares. So the big pro of this one is that you can do the small airports and you can check. The big con is that you cannot set alerts and that you have a really difficult time searching for many different flights over a long period of time. If you want to look for all the availability over a few months, this is not your program because Seats.Aero can show you almost like a year of availability. This program will generally show you like 1 day at a time. Now, if you use the Explore feature, in my opinion, it's not as good and it takes a lot longer to do it, and it shows a lot of phantom award space, whereas Seats.Aero will continue to refresh that space over and over again. So my vote is still Seats.Aero, but in your case, Point.me may be a lot simpler depending on your comfortability with trying to figure these things out. PointsYeah.com. It's kind of difficult to figure out this software. It's like a little crazy and I feel like there's a lot of things going on, but it does have a lot of great value. One thing I do like about it is that you can select 2 airports in their search feature. So I'm going to go from LA to Auckland, New Zealand, or Sydney, Australia. And I'm also willing to go out of San Diego. And you do get a long range of dates here, up to 7 days. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It also has a free plan. So honestly, I do not subscribe to Point.me, but I do subscribe to Seats.Aero and I use PointsYeah, when I really just can't find it, I try to figure out, okay, what is out there with all the segments just combined. Okay, so it's showing you all the different dates that are available and what the prices are for the specific programs. In this case, Alaska, you can book a flight on American Airlines for this amount. Now let's say that again, I only have American Express membership rewards or Bilt rewards, for example. Who can I transfer to? I can only transfer to, okay, I'm gonna take out Bilt since it's hogging the Alaska space up top there. Okay, this one you can book the same flight with Qantas Frequent Flyer, which is a partner of Amex Membership Rewards, and you can transfer your miles to Qantas Frequent Flyer and then book the flight on American Airlines. But I would create an account on Qantas Frequent Flyer before you do this. Make sure the space is in fact available before you book it. This is going to give you probably between a 1 and a 1.5 cent return on your miles, depending on when you're actually flying. If, on the other hand, you want to fly only in business class, then you'll find a lot more value for your points. This flight is like 2.5 times as many points in business class, almost 3. But if you were to pay cash, it would be maybe more like 6 or 7 times. So a lot more value when you book the business class flights. Let's say, for example, that you don't want to fly American Airlines. What other options are available to you? Oh, you can go from San Diego to Phoenix to LA to Sydney to Auckland. Well, that's an option. You may not want to do that. Or you can transfer. It looks like United doesn't have any Saver Award availability here, so very difficult to book it with United in this case. But if you search different dates, there's some options there that you could check. PointsYeah also has a hotel search engine that you may want to check out. It will allow you to search pretty similar to Rooms.Aero. One cool thing about PointsYeah is that it does have a Daydream Explorer, similar to PointMe. I want to go to Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, in June, when it will be colder. Okay, JFK to Cape Town, 27,000 points, $248. Yeah, there's some good value here. And then let's try to find something that's not with the Virgin program. That seems to be showing up here. Okay, you've got Air France and KLM's program Flying Blue for Me offers it out of JFK. You can also fly out of Raleigh to Nairobi for the same amount of points. You can go to Mauritius for just a few more points. And let's say you wanted to go only in business or in first. What would your options look like? Probably not very good because it's so far out. Oh, American does have one, but that's a lot of taxes and fees. JFK to Entebbe, Uganda in business for 87,000 points on Iberia. And then ORD to Addis Ababa. Now, Ethiopian Airlines may not be your favorite airline to fly, but they do have a lot of award space available, which is really nice if you need to get around the world, it can be very convenient. So a lot of these flights are going to be via Addis Ababa, which is not the worst. You're getting a bed, and it's a nice, relaxing experience. FlightConnections is a software that I use when I'm trying to figure out how do I get to a big airport. So I would say most of the time when I use points, I'm booking with Star Alliance. So those airports, Star Alliance has hubs in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, in Denver, in Houston, in Chicago, in Newark, in Washington, D.C. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, there's a flight out of Houston, and I want to know, how do I get to Houston? So I'm going to just search that there, and then I can see that these are all the different airports that fly into Houston. So maybe I live in Chattanooga. They don't have a direct flight to Houston, but I could drive over to Knoxville, or I could drive up to Nashville, and they have that flight, as well as Huntsville. In another example, let's say you want to go to Tahiti. You know that you can't get there from the East Coast as long as you use this software. So you need to be looking for flights out of LA, out of San Francisco, and out of Seattle. Those are the alerts that you actually want to track. And then you know in order to get there, you've got to fly through one of those 3 airports, assuming you're coming from the US. When we talk about the ANA Around the World ticket, which is my favorite miles ticket in the world, this will be a very helpful software to use. Another software that I have referenced throughout this course is the GCmap.com. GCmap.com is helpful when you're booking with airlines like Air Canada that have award charts that are based on distances, and you need to know, how do I get there under a certain amount of distance? What is the distance between one airport and another? It can be very helpful for figuring those kinds of things out. Not going to use it every day, but on certain kinds of awards you will use it. That's a wrap for the softwares that I generally use. There are a lot of them out there, but more than using the software, you need to know how to book the flights and then let the software work for you. Rather than being reliant on the software to figure out deals that may or may not exist, you kind of know how the segment thing works and how different programs work, and then you use the software to find the deals that you know are out there.